Interesting facts about music that you probably didn't know. Music is a collection of coordinated sounds. Sounds are all around us, from birds chirping and waves lapping against a coastline to cars honking in traffic. But sometimes sounds are put together in purposeful ways to create a specific atmosphere or to express ideas or emotions. When this happens, we say music is being made. In other words, making music is the process of putting sounds and tones in order, often combining them to create a unified composition. People who make music creatively organize sounds for the desired result. Music is made of sounds, vibrations, and silent moments, and it doesn't always have to be pleasant or pretty. It can be used to convey a whole range of experiences, environments, and emotions. Music is an art that, in guise or another, permeates every human society. In other words, almost every human culture has a tradition of making music. Ancient Egyptians used music in religious ceremonies. Many other African cultures have traditions related to drumming for important rituals. Today, rock and pop musicians tour and perform around the world, singing the songs that made them famous. All of these are examples of music. If you've been following the videos on our channel, you should know what we're about now. We bring you various surprising facts about things that you thought you knew. Today, we're going to take a look at some of the mind-boggling facts about music that will surprise you. Don't forget to hit like after watching and subscribe to the channel. Pop musicians have shorter lifespans than everyday people. Well, the first fact on our list is not a very nice one, but it is still a fact. Did you know that pop musicians do not live as long as normal people live? Of course you didn't. A particular study conducted by a University of Sydney professor titled Stairway to Hell: Life and Death in the Pop Music Industry examined the deaths of artists that took place between 1950 and June 2014. The study focused on longevity and the proportion of suicides, homicides, and accidental deaths. The researchers determined longevity by calculating the average age of death for each musician by sex and decade of the death. These averages were then compared with averages by sex and decade for the general U.S. population. The results were astonishing. The researchers concluded that musicians' lifespans are 25 years shorter. In 2016, Mozart sold more CDs than Beyoncé. Ever hear the saying, "Music lives on"? Well, it does. Now imagine that an 18th century composer sells more than pop music's greatest names. This was the case when Mozart sold the most CDs in 2016, beating out Adele, Drake, and Beyoncé, even though all of these artists had Grammy-winning hits that year. So, how did this happen? Well, in October 2016, the Universal Music Group released a box set commemorating the 225th anniversary of Mozart's death. Each disc included in the box set counted as one CD sold, and each set contained 200 discs. This, coupled with the ease of streaming, meant that more CDs could be sold. It wasn't quite surprising when the box set itself flew off shelves. Singing in a group can boost your mood. Have you ever been part of a band? If you haven't, maybe you should. Although that depends on whether you have a passion for singing and can sing. Why should you try singing as part of a group? Several studies conducted proved that singing as part of a group provides numerous physical and emotional benefits. Researchers have discovered that singing is soothing and raises one's spirits and mood. When you sing with others, the body releases feel-good hormones like oxytocin and reduces stress-causing ones like cortisol. You should try it if you've noticed that you are always in a bad mood. Some people feel nothing toward music. You may have a few friends or relatives who seem not to be keen on music. In fact, it does not affect them at all. Well, the truth is they are not alone. According to the results of one study conducted by the University of Barcelona, 5% of the participants did not feel any emotion whatsoever when listening to music, with no chills nor an urge to tap their feet. It should be noted that these study subjects are not monsters or something worse. They were normal in other ways. They received pleasure from other things like food and sex and had no other evident psychological issues. These were happy, healthy college students who just naturally did not care for any kind of music. The same goes for that friend or relative of yours. They are perfectly normal, deriving satisfaction in some other things other than music. Listening to music enhances physical performance. Did you know that music has a way of enhancing physical performance? Various studies have shown that the synchronization of music with repetitive exercise provides enhanced physical performance, helping people to both work out for longer and train more efficiently. In a particular study, participants who cycled while listening to music found that they required 7% less oxygen compared to those who cycled without music. What this means is that music provides temporal cues that have the potential to make more efficient use of physical energy. The largest ever free concert was hosted by Rod Stewart. In recent years, there have been reports about several free concerts having an audience of over 1 million, but such numbers tend to be exaggerated. However, according to Guinness World Records, Rod Stewart's 1993 New Year's Eve concert on Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, remains the most attended free concert that ever took place. The concert was attended by an estimated 4.2 million people. The second most attended free concert was Jean-Michel Jarre's September 6, 1997 performance at the University of Moscow, which reportedly had an estimated audience of 3.5 million. The catchiest song of all time. If you love music, you must have found that there are some songs whose lyrics you have at your fingertips, and there are some whose lyrics you just can't seem to remember. It is the same for everyone that listens to music. In 2014, a group of researchers from the Museum of Science and Industry in England released an online test called Hooked on Music. It contained 1,000 bits of pop hits dating back to the 1940s, and it asked 12,000 participants to identify songs as fast as possible. They found that Wannabe by the Spice Girls was the catchiest song. In other words, people were able to recognize it in about 2.3 seconds, which was way below the 5-second average of identifying other popular songs. An astronaut released an album with all songs recorded in space. We've been talking about music on Earth, but now let's move to outer space. In 2015, a Canadian astronaut named Chris Hadfield released his first album, which was entirely recorded while in orbit. Not only was he the first Canadian to walk in space, but he was also a talented musician who went viral with a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity. Hadfield spent 144 days at the International Space Station recording his 11 original songs for his album Space Sessions: Songs for a Tin Can. Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving song. Our next fact brings us back to Earth. You know the popular Christmas classic Jingle Bells? Well, it didn't originate as a Christmas song. Written by James Lord Pierpont and published in 1857, Jingle Bells was meant to be sung during Thanksgiving. The song's original title was One Horse Open Sleigh. Then it was changed to Jingle Bells, or the One Horse Open Sleigh, when it was reprinted in 1859. There is a plaque in Medford, Massachusetts at the former site of a tavern where the song is said to have been written in an area where, and an era when, sleigh races were popular. Music affects your perception of the world. Did you know that the type of music you listen to can affect your view of the world? Yes, it can. A 2011 study conducted at the University of Groningen showed that music has a more significant effect on perception. The subjects were influenced by the music they heard based on what they saw. The participants were asked to listen to music and identify corresponding smiley faces. Smiley faces that matched the music were identified much more accurately. And even when no smiley face was shown, the subjects thought they recognized a happy face when listening to happy music and a sad face when listening to sad music. So if you need a change of perception, you now know what to do. Music helps plants grow faster. Who knew that music could affect even plants? Fascinating. A study conducted by South Korean scientists from the National Institute of Agricultural Biotechnology found that plants grow faster when music is played around them. The study used 14 different classical pieces, including Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, in rice fields. It was concluded that the music helped the crops grow at a faster pace and pointed to evidence that plants have genes that enable them to hear. However, it is not certain if there is a particular genre of music that is capable of doing this, or just any form of music. None of the Beatles could read or write music. Unless you've lived in a cave somewhere, you must have heard about the Beatles. People had speculated for decades that the members of the boy band couldn't read and write, but Paul McCartney finally admitted during a 2018 interview that neither he nor any of his Beatles bandmates were able to read or write music, and they never understood music theory. McCartney said that the music just came to him and his bandmates John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison, and it was never written down. Although knowledge needn't beget success, it is still important to have knowledge. The most expensive musical instrument sold for $15.9 million. For the past couple of decades, the market for fine Italian string instruments, namely violins, violas, and cellos, has been hitting the highest notes in value. In 2011, the Lady Blunt Stradivarius violin sold for a world record $15.9 million, which was 4 times the previous auction record for a Stradivarius. Industry experts put returns on Stradivarius and Gennari del Gesù violins at about 10% to 12% annually, which should be music to any wise collector's ears. Metallica is the first and only band to have played on all 7 continents. Did you know that a band that has been to all 7 continents to perform? In 2013, rock band Metallica entered Guinness World Records after becoming the first musical act to play a concert on all 7 continents. They set this record after performing for 120 scientists and competition winners in a transparent dome at Carlini Station in Antarctica. The band held concerts on all 7 continents within 1 calendar year following tour dates in North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. It's quite an impressive feat. Listening to music utilizes the entire brain. The last but not least fact on our list is that we use all of our brains when we listen to music. In 2011, Finnish researchers had developed a groundbreaking new method to study how the brain processes different aspects of music, including rhythm, tonality, and timbre, sound color, in a realistic listening situation. The study was pioneering in that it revealed for the first time how wide networks in the brain, including areas responsible for motor actions, emotions, and creativity, are all activated while listening to music. This new method helps us better understand the complex dynamics of the brain and the many ways in which music affects us. We can imagine how impressed you are with your new knowledge. Which of the facts surprised you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We have several other informative, captivating, and educative facts to share with you concerning what you do each and every day. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our mind-blowing videos.